Y'all wound up in the chat tonight. My God, me and T-Ben can't even keep up reading with y'all. How we doing, everyone? Tonight was the night, I guess. Tonight's that kind of show you're looking for.
Happy birthday, America. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Tomorrow's the 4th of July. We're not closing down the beach.
We're going to make a boat.
Oh my God! So that was fantastic. What's your overall take? I know what your overall take is because you told me before we came on. But why don't you give us your little spiel then, and then we'll actually get into the.
I don't want to be negative. It was good.
Just don't talk about times. Just don't talk about timing because that guy didn't like that last night.
Look, it's fantastic fish. There's no denying, and like we talked about, better heads and shoulders above last night. I feel like they just, it was a fantastic fish show. My only gripe with them is, it's a holiday show. Lean into it a little bit. Like they lean into New Year's and they lean into Halloween and they lean into the holiday shows, and you rarely get a 4th of July show, right? Like, just a little something, just a little nod, just a little fun to the crowd. Like the bust outs are fun, but it was just a regular fish show, which is cool in what they do. And it was a ripper. And I mean, I would never complain about, I'd be walking out of there with smile ear to ear tonight if I was in that show, and even watching on the live stream is fantastic. But that's my only gripe. My only gripe.
There you go.
Give me a little America happy birthday in there.
Right. My favorite show of the tour so far. Not a wasted note, not a wasted song.
I think maybe that was right. They were like, we're not going to gimmick it. Maybe they were like, oh, the drones aren't working, or like it's windy or the storm or whatever, so we couldn't do it. So then they were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go out there and give them the best show tour so far.
Yep. We all knew Bathtub was coming at some point today. I mean, It's the 8th show of tour, and we hadn't gotten one yet. And just, a brilliant stroke of the pen there with Trey's Setlist writing to open up. Great way to ease into everything. Had a little bit extra. It isn't, your 20-minute set closer thing, but beautiful thing.
Beauty. Fantastic opener. Like I've been dying for a Jen. I've put it on my pick 5, I think, every night since like night 4 of tour. I've been like Jen. So to get it, I would prefer it like 3rd, 4th song, so it really get the stretch. But a 12-minute opener with it was fantastic and really set the tone for the night. I feel like it was one of those real tone setters where it was like, oh, this is the way it's going to be a special night, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I still was hoping like, okay, it's going to come out and be like this 4th of July extravaganza, but they really just set the tone with the song. We're like, here's what we're going to do, and kind of play a lot of good shit well and jam a lot. So it was a great way to open, and the crowd, you could tell, was stoked as hell to finally get it. So
they were boogieing. Everyone looked like they had so much room down there on the floor. Like nobody was pinned in. Everybody was moving.
I'll say that's probably the nice thing about being in this venue, because even in the stands there's so much room, because there's, you can move. So that is kind of nice to actually have plenty of space to go in. The only thing too, Kev, is, by now you would hope you were getting your 2nd gen. So that 1st gen was the tune up to the 2nd gen. And this one would really be sort of that blow up jet. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird that this is our first one 8 shows in, and it hadn't gotten so the next one is what you're kind of looking forward to, where they explore, especially after doing this one where it was. So but I'm glad we got it.
Moma got moved back to the 2 spot where it belongs, and a solid performance. Funky. It's funky. It's their kind of funk. It's Vermont funk, I guess. But I love it.
Moma in the 2. That's another point of here's
Death Taxes and Moma in the 2.
Yeah. Yep. So in 10 minutes, 22 minutes in the first 2 songs, again, fantastic. Like the first set was heavy. It was a heavy first set. There was a lot in there, and this was a heavy way to open with these 2. So
right. Beauty of My Dream shows up every once in a while, but I guess the theme has been, I'm not looking at every first set now, but I feel like we're getting a Bluegrass tune every night. That's one of the things this tour. They're throwing in a short little song there. Beauty of My Dreams, great song, great lyric.
We've been saying it's fun to, it's kind of like that throwback to those years when they would do Bluegrass every night and have like one of those short 4 or 5 minute or 2 a night in there somewhere and just bust them out real quick. It's a lot of fun, and you can see them having fun with it. And again, it speaks to them in the line formation, which just reminds me of those songs and them doing that. So it's really cool to have that going on.
Yeah, hopefully we get a My Sweet One or Poor Heart tomorrow. That would be cool.
Yes. Agree.
I would
agree.
like that. Theme has been a consistent vehicle for the past 18 months, and this one was no exception. I mean, it doesn't break new ground or anything, but they really live inside that song, and I feel like it's a statement piece for Trey at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely, with as much as it's been played recently, I think getting it at 9 minutes is a little, again, there was so much in that. It's like, yeah, Kev, I was telling him that earlier that he should join.
I don't gamble, Michael.
You don't need to, but it's nice because it keeps track of everything for you. So you don't have to, you just like submit them and then you're like, oh yeah. And then you get points and get to have bragging rights or get people bragging.
I don't even play bingo, man. Don't even play bingo.
Just pool, just a pool hustler.
I don't play pool anymore. I mean, right. I would, I guess, if there was a pool hall close enough. But
exactly. But yeah, theme solid. What they did inside that 9 minutes was fantastic. Another great song that fit well in this set, and really the whole first set. I just feel like the story in this first set was it was so thought out and planned. It felt like, and these songs were like perfectly placed and well.
All heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I mean, Rift, Rift is one of those songs that Rift is what it is, but they nailed it. And, it's one of those ones when they start, I'm like, this is why I started really getting into PHiSH, was that Rift album really sucked me in.
Yep.
When you're 22 and you're having breakups every 6 months, you just really dig Rift.
And Rift to me will always be the Red Rocks riff, where at that stop and they do the edge and test. This is Red Rocks. This is the edge. Like it always plays in my head. It's like that Steven where Bobby does the accepting, like one man gathers what another man spills, except in California. Like I always hear it in my head no matter what the song is. So like same thing with Rift, is it's always like, this is Red Rocks, this is the edge. So I love that song, and it always sets up the back half of the set when it's played, where kind of in that middle position, that barrier spot, and then it just sort of like the turn. Exactly, the halfway turn. And it's always a perfect place for it, because then you never know where you're going to get next. And I thought getting this 15-minute Oblivion was spectacular, like fantastic.
Hey, let me ask you about Oblivion. The first 12 Oblivions through Alpine last summer were all second sets. Since then, they've played 8 of them, and 5 of them have been first sets, including tonight. Do you think it works better as a centerpiece in a first set for a jam, or would you rather it be in the second set?
That's an interesting question. I always feel like first set songs and jams are just setup songs, really. Like I never take them serious. I think that was just always the way it was with the Dead too. Even if you got a deep, right, like even if you got
it was Bird Song or Let It Grow or the
Right. And even if you got a play-in or something in that first set, it wasn't necessarily the play-in that you would get in the second set, because it didn't have, it's more confined, I feel like, in the first set, because you're not going out there getting like a 4-song first set, right? Like that doesn't really ever happen. You're getting maybe a 4-song second set because they can jam it and be like, oh, we're kind of unrestrained in the second set. So to me, songs like that, I always would prefer in the second set. It's the same thing as Antelope. Like I'd much rather have Antelope in the middle of the second set than being a closer, but it fits so well there, and that's kind of just where it lives now. So it's funny where songs find their places. I think Oblivion, yes, I would take it in the second set. To answer your question, I would rather have in the second set as a bigger jam vehicle, but if you're going to give it to me 15 minutes in the first set, that's great. The problem is, if it's going to be in the first set, you're not always going to get 15 minutes. You're going to get 8 minutes. You're going to get that 7 minutes. You're going to get that 9 minutes. And then we're going to be like, oh, where's all that meat that's left on that Oblivion bone that we know is there? And so that kind of sucks. Whereas in the second set, you might get a 9 to 12 minute one and still feel like you got enough out of it. Whereas I don't think you really get that in the first.
There you go.
Timberhill
is such a fantastic song. Timberhill is one I like in the second set. That is a great way to open a second set. But this was solid. Trey was obviously really into it. At one point, Mike was like staring at Fishman while they were playing.
Yeah.
It was so cute. And then he smiled and turned and looked back at the crowd.
This is like such a Jerry tune to me, right? Like this song always reminds me of something Jerry would have sung, and like, so I love it. And 8 minutes, solid, tight jam. One of those songs that can really get out there, but even when it stays within its boundaries, it feels like it has so much more depth to it and does so many more things. And this was a perfect example of that. And man, giving you the mule and then the ugly pig was so awesome. Nice, Mike. Gift those. I love it though, man. Like you get the mule and then you get the pig and Guyute.
I'm always a little I'm like, oh, Guyute, are they going to be able to pull it off? And they took an extra minute. They all looked at each other and they were like, all right, are we going to do this? And I feel like, you know, compared to the one in 19 in South Carolina, this was pretty flawless there.
It was good. You know? It was good. Like there was, I mean, you know what you're going to get now, right? Like you have to know what you're just. It's one of those now where you kind of like you're excited, yes, Guyute, but you're also crossing your fingers. We're like, please don't murder it.
Let's get through it. Let's get through this, guys.
And it makes that end part even more explosive when you get to it and he hasn't fucked it up, and you're like, woohoo! And I griped about this on the member hang at intermission, so you guys already heard my bitch of the night, but the live stream completely missed the shot of coming back in the that's you. It should be on me.
How do I do that? I should have. I tried.
Back. It's just single frame and me. Anyway, the live stream totally missed it. Like it had the back shot of the band playing when it should have been the front shot coming in on them with the lights and like we're here. And then the next shot when it's like in that final part of the comeback in, it was all focused on Trey and his guitar work. And you're like, Fishman's over here going crazy and Mike's banging away and we're focusing in on Trey coming in off it drove me crazy. I even said it in the Discord. I was like, everyone needs to be fired on Live Fish. It like Trey Kerr, you do a lot of good things, but man, that sometimes, dude, do you even know what's coming? Like, come on. Anyway, that was my gripe.
I have to switch sides now because I'm turned this way, so I look like I'm facing you. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that was my gripe. By Guyute still crushed though. If you were there, the live stream didn't matter, and in the moment, I'm sure it was kick-ass and awesome. So yeah.
Back on the train. I mean, I thought that was going to be the closer, and I was like, that is a great closer. It has the Possum feel, that, you know, mid-tempo chugging along kind of thing. Good choice.
I'm glad it wasn't the closer, though. I even thought we were going to get another one after most events. But Back on the Train, again, one of those, when it's 8 minutes, it can still feel like it's longer than it is because it just has that great jam in it and that great just like drive to it. So loving the first set, like so many good first set tunes in this first set, like theme, riff, that jam in Oblivion, the Guyute that you got, the train, and then the most events not planned. Most events aren't planned. I didn't realize this, and I kind of brought it up to you at intermission that, you know, it's one of those songs that have started to live in the closing spot. In fact, 7 of the last 10 times it's been played, it's been a closer, and one of those was a second set closer. All the other ones are first set closer. So I think it's kind of found its place in that spot as a first set closer. I like it when there's like another song after it to close that set, but when it's as ripping as it is and at 10 minutes, that thing gets down. Like when they break into that thing and Trey and Paige start going, it's really fun, and the build back into it is fantastic. So good set.
I felt like Trey really found some new spaces in it tonight. He was doing some stuff towards the end of it. The extra 2 minutes or so you got out of it tonight were Trey expanding the palette a little bit. So
yeah, I agree. Fantastic first set though, man. Like, unfortunately, Mike, I only got one song out of all of tonight because I went crazy and there's still things like that, but great, fantastic first set. You said it, Kev, before, your favorite first set of tour. I think it's right up there. Yeah, I would agree with you. I wouldn't argue that at all.
It is. All right. If you're watching for the first time, like and subscribe. If you're watching this later, leave a comment. Tomorrow we'll be back for the members at halftime. You can become a member. We'll be back with the after show. On Monday, we're having a festival drop about 4848. And on Tuesday, we're having an interview come out with a guy named Brian Anderson, who is the author of something called Loud and Clear, which is a history of the wall of sound. So if you're into the Grateful Dead thing, it was a fascinating conversation we had with him. Great story. He was 3 years old at Alpine in 89. And
incredible stuff. That guy was a lot of fun to talk to. We could have talked, like you guys know, Kevin and I can talk hours about the Dead, and having a third person in there with us, we hit like over an hour and a half on that interview with like that. We're like, how long has it been? Wow, we could have gone 2. It's easy.
Yeah, I did reel it in there. You were like, "There's so much to talk about." I was like, "Yeah, but it'll be."
Well, he's coming back. We're having him back on. We're gonna have him on a live right around Dead 60 because it was so good. So he's coming back.
Yeah, definitely. All right, simple. Another one we knew had to be coming. Another 8 shows. The 8th show we hadn't got as simple yet, and got into a really nice space. It didn't go bliss. It had that really nice slow burning jam there that dumped into what's going through your mind. But the simple, you got anything on the simple?
I loved where that jam went. Like it's one when it flips that switch kind of, out of the simple zone and then immediately goes into this other place. And you're like, oh, all right, here we go. Like we blasted off. We're now out of the solar system. Where are we exploring? And 12 minutes, we didn't get too deep in that simple, but where it went into that drop, that perfect segue into what's going through your mind, I thought just beautiful. And Trey, I mean, he loves playing that song. Obviously, it's getting a lot of playtime right now, which is both good and bad. I mean, it means that they're really into playing it, and he's exploring a lot with it. Flip side is you might get sick of it kind of quick, but I don't know.
We're going to get at least 3 of them this tour.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
If not 2 more, we might get 4 of them over the tour.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
It's their shiny new toy, and like you said, Trey really loves playing it, and they feel at home there. It's like they saw that and they moved in, and they all just feel so good playing it.
They do, and he set it up beautifully to go into it. It's like it was totally planned for, you know what I mean? Like we knew he wanted to play that, I think, in this arena in that venue. So I'm not surprised he did it tonight, but coming out of that simple, it was a very beautiful segue into it. And again, those 2 songs hitting 27, almost a half hour again with those 2. And then you get your drop into Tweezer, which was another great drop into, and you're like, oh, okay. Like
there's your side of a tape, man. That's simple. What's going through your mind? Tweezer is your perfect 45 minutes there.
And a great opening salvo of 3 songs. You're like, oh, yes, like yes. And then you drop into Zeppelin No Quarter, which again, this was really a transitional set. And I mean that like all the transitions into the songs were pretty solid or good ways into them. I thought.
I like the fact that they did what's going through your mind. The last one obviously went over 40 minutes. They kept it short. They did the Tweezer. Obviously, the last Tweezer was legendary because it was 3 parts that were an hour total or whatever. Smart move on their part to do it this way. They put them back to back. You've removed expectations, so when they do both show up again later in the tour, it's a clean slate for them.
Right, and you don't have to compare even these. You don't have to compare to the last ones because those last ones were such monsters, and the way these ones fell in this great set, in this great show altogether, it just sort of washes over that they weren't these massive jams that we got last time. It's just sort of like, oh, this, to your point, this works, this makes sense. And what you get after that Tweezer going into the No Quarter kind of forgives a lot of things. Like people love to get their Zeppelin on and have that in there. So it was another great song for that stadium. I felt like getting Zeppelin in there and Page, like fantastic. So
one of the top covers that they do now, and especially for Page, it just fits him, and the keyboard You know, when he does the keyboard, they have a
Yeah,
little bit of effect on the voice there, and
it's kind of like we talk about how we don't get Life on Mars anymore and Day in a Life anymore, and this is kind of that replacement. Like this is sort of that now matured level of them that we get because they can't really sing those, you know, like that anymore.
Right.
So it's sort of this now fills in for those.
Right. A Page can't do Life on Mars anymore, which is sad. That was always such a great cover.
Such a great song. Oh, yes.
Such a great song. All right, then we got the Down with Disease. I mean, I thought again, I'm like, oh well, that's the set closer, definitely. You know, 15 minutes, they bring it back, they close it out. I really like how they've been dealing with the Down with Disease. They saved Down with Disease from the place it was in 3.0, that it was always open-ended and you always expected it to be 20-25 minutes, and a lot of times it was the least successful thing they did that night, almost because they felt like they had to, you know?
Right. I mean, it is one of those songs, though, that when they did some of those jams, you get those complete broke down, funky, build it back out jams and Mike doing weird shit on them, you know? So I do miss those, but I know what you're saying where yes, it's almost like now you're kind of hoping it doesn't go that long, or it stays within its zone of that area. And to your point, I kind of felt like the same thing. Like tonight, maybe this is the closer, but then I kept checking the watch. I was like, well, are they going to do something special for the encore and do like fireworks or drone or play like
and need a half hour for the encore,
right? Exactly. Right. Exactly. So then you're thinking, okay, this is probably the last song, and then to drop in a Ghost, you're like, oh. So we're extending out this set, and how long is the Ghost going to be? Which, again, another 27 minutes on the back two songs. Fantastic.
This is, I have to resign myself to Ghost now lives to close the set.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Another one that it benefits from having to complete at a time, of having like a seeable endpoint, you know?
Well, and I think I was going to say, I think that might be a good thing for it, because sometimes when it's in the middle, it doesn't get its due. Like you'll get a short 5 minute, 7 minute Ghost that then you're like, oh man, we just got like the Pipers become, right? Like those 7 minute Pipers that you're like, oh my God, you just chop the balls off. Not only do we not get a slow build into it, but we get no out back end of it either. So yes, and I feel like, yeah, Ghost living in those spots gets a little bit extra love there, I think, with the jam, or like where it can go, and so it's probably a good thing.
Everything, nothing broke new ground in any of the jams tonight, but everything was really interesting.
Yeah, and very solid playing. Like even the Guyute to get through it and be like, he didn't fuck it up. Like it sounded good. So like the playing was very much on the level tonight. Like, and they sounded great and really kind of just nailed it, and was like a very clean PHiSH show, like very clean. No gag, which I'll still bitch about a little bit, but yeah, I mean, probably the best show of the 8 we've seen. Was tonight 8?
I think so. I'm going to go with that now. I mean, it has the high pro glow because we just watched it, but
I think it'll look good on re-listen. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, encore of Zero again. Pure rock stadium. I think, you know, this is one of the ones that Scott Marks, we talked about what they'll play here, and it was like, you're gonna get your rockin' Zero, and here it was in the encore that dropped into a Tweezer reprise. Here's one of the encores that no fuss, no muss, no life beyond the dream crap, no nothing in front, just a solid Zero and a reprise to fucking go as the bookend to this fantastic set and this fantastic show. I mean, perfect. Thank you for nailing that.
All right, tomorrow we're getting Miss You or More, definitely. They haven't done a More yet. He has not done a More. That should be on everyone's bot there tomorrow. Everyone's gambling app.
Tomorrow night, it's going to be a weird, not Sunday show, right? It's the end of a 3-night run, but it's a Saturday. But it's an early Saturday curfew. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. There's a lot left on the table. I hope they pick up where they left off tonight and still have that same buzz and energy going, because tonight was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
See you too, Greg.
Right on. Make sure you like and
go to the Discord.
Leave a comment.
Go hang out on the Discord. Go join the bots. Make your picks on the bot. It's a lot of fun. And go hang out with the Marvin boys after this show. They like to talk a lot of smack about us.
We'll see you tomorrow.